Good evening, everyone. We're out here on a very cold winter night. Okay, down at the Conneaut Creek in the Conneaut Creek Valley. This is T-Mac for T-Mac's American Experience, and we're going to do a night investigation down here. Okay, now, in pretty much all videos, I always trying to get my glove on my hand. It is a wicked cold night, but it's about the best night that I've had for a night hike in a while. It is 23 degrees, wind chill at 15, 9-mile-per-hour winds. There may be some slight gusts, and unfortunately we've got a little bit of snow, but this is the best I could get. Okay, it's just been very snowy, cold. Okay, there we go, power tech is on. Now as you can see, look at this, no tracks. It's been wicked cold and snowy in this area, and it's been incredibly windy, which is, the wind stops me way more than the cold will. I got all the gear for the cold, although I am testing out to see whether I'm over bundled or under bundled. So, okay, we're doing an investigation down here. We're looking for the signs of the wildlife. So any wildlife, okay, that we find, deer, whatever. We're also especially looking for the predators. Our predators are black bear, mostly hibernated, because we've had a very cold and snowy winter. But we're also looking, we have reports in this area of very large coy wolves. One was just killed just up the road from here. That was a 120-pound. The guy said it fit across, the body length spanned across his the hood of his truck, full-size truck. Right off the bat, I see these look a little bit more like some rabbit tracks. I do have the thermal camera going. I encourage you to watch that video. It will come out usually 2 days after the main video. Okay, so it's an area I've been before and had epically creepy things happen. Now, I have to give some preferences. I'm not going to say the area I'm at anymore. This is something else I need your guys' help with. Okay, so it has been made known to me that this is, I guess, is something, the price of when you start to get successful doing something. There are 3 men who have been now stalking me and have made their intentions known, that they plan on, I guess, what they said is stealing my areas. They're not my areas, they're the community's areas, you know, but they're saying they're going to steal my areas and not let me hike on them. Now, I think if you know anything about me here, I don't really put up with bullying that well. However, I do have to do some things for self-defense. This is some deep snow down here. There's at least 10 inches to a foot on the ground, and there's been drifting. Okay, some of the tracks are filled in. We're checking all these tracks because I can see some of them are animal prints. They're filled in pretty good, like I'm not going to be able to tell what they are. So anyway, I have had some people here again put some threats out to me, so I've had to kind of vary up my routine, and I know most of the areas that they're saying they're going to be in are areas that you need permission, and they don't have it, and I do. So, but we'll see how this goes and how this plays out. But unfortunately, because of that, one of the things I always liked doing was telling some of the stories of the area, and I will no longer be able to do that. So if you do recognize where I'm at, there's some, I'm wanting to say those are some more, I don't know if those are rabbit, like it was, yeah, I think that was a rabbit hopping. Another rabbit track. Again, the snow's, it's funny how the snow shows on this thermal. And I do gotta have my ears covered. So that is gonna maybe inhibit a little bit of my hearing, because I'll freeze off. It's real quiet down here. But I would like, I'm not going to say much. If you do recognize the area I'm at, do not put it in the comments, okay? If you put it in the comments, the comment will be removed, and that'll be strike one. If you put my location in a second time, you're going to be kicked from the channel, because my personal safety's got to come first. Hope we're doing it. Okay, another thing with commenters, because I've been getting, as my channel has been growing, I've been getting more and more haters. And I've mentioned it last one, but I'm going to say it again. If you put a rude comment in, you're going to get kicked from the channel. Period. That's it. And so, enough said about that. Okay, I need your guys' help. You hear something, you see something, say something. Drop your comments in there. This is an interactive hiking channel. If you have something that you feel is a valid criticism, just be respectful. Okay, I do take those. That looks, again, I'm still thinking that's rabbit. Right there, that's got a rabbit hopping all over here. So, okay, so I will go over some noise pollution. Off in the distance, you're going to hear the rushing of the river that I'm near. And you may hear, you may hear in the distance the interstate that is near here. You may hear a bit of their traffic, although it seems to be light tonight, and the snow does muffle some of the car sounds. That being said, let's get to this investigation. Oh, one other comment I want to get to. Somebody commented on my last video that I talk too much. And my comment back to that, what I'll say is, I narrate on these hikes, okay, and sometimes do a little bit of storytelling and a few jokes, put some humor into it. If you want a silent hike where the person just hikes through the wood and says nothing, you have come to the wrong channel. That's end of story on that. I'm not changing that. Okay, they're all over here, but it's those same type of tracks going up the sides of this hill here. I hear an aircraft overhead, jet. One of the good signs of that is that means our wind is low, and as you look, we got some snow coming down, but look, none of our trees or branches are moving. So the winds are fairly light. They're as light as they have been in a week and a half. So even for my last hike, we have less wind. Now, last hike, I had something knocking on a tree. It definitely creeped me out. But in review of the video, we caught a few thermal hits that are odd but not conclusive. In the main video, some people have pointed out some things that I definitely say it's not conclusive, but looks like arms wrapped around a tree. And but for all of you who watch that and put input on that, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Okay. That being said, this area, again, not saying the name of it, but it is bar none the creepiest area that I have ever gone to. So, and I've done this one with friends and it was creepy, and I've done it solo and it is creepy. But this battery's on my flashlight. It's eating power quick, even though I have it plugged in. So I gotta I'm sorry, I have to turn it down some, because I gotta save this a little bit. This is rushing. So again, if you recognize this area, just keep that to yourself. I am following some tracks that are covered up, but look small. Those almost look like they might be deer track, but they're old. We will go across the creek. Most of this is a private property area. On the opposite side, I have permission to, if necessary, to step off, because I know the property owner and have talked to him. I have permission, if necessary, to go off into the woods. Now, again, he doesn't want it for any reason. Gotta be if necessary. Okay. So that will, whatever type that critter is, I think it's rabbits, because it looks like hopping. There's quite a few of them around here. Now, one of the things this is private property area of an abandoned road, and this road gets covered up in giant puddles. And is iced over, so you can hear the cracking of the ice. Ooh. I have a large thermal hit, so let's light up. The troubling thing is the height off the ground that the thermal hit is, and it's gone. Where the heck did it go? I had a thermal hit. It moved. I have a couple others that I think are the backdrop. The cliff on the other side. But I had a different thermal hit and it moved. I think I might have something. And the river is very high, even though it has been very cold for quite a while. That river is flowing really good over here, and it's not iced over. Parts of it are elsewhere, but down here it is not. Okay, now I got my flashlight and thought I heard something there. I gotta turn this down a little. I know the snow makes this a little hard for seeing some of the things, but the best night I had to get a video. I will be here in the very near future, headed out to do some hikes with the cameraman. I'm telling you, I thought I was hearing, I heard what back there just a little bit before this here was like an owl, but I couldn't tell. The river sound is loud. Again, we got stuff walking over here. I see some tracks, and unfortunately I cannot make out what those are. And maybe the thermal can see them a little better. Something wandering. The way this is wandering around makes me think this is coyote. Okay, coyote or fox, possibly, and because it's hard to tell the size. The way it's wandering around, though, I am thinking this is and wandering off into the forest. These are predator tracks. Now we're going to come up to an old bridge. We're going to try to get across it. Usually the opposite side where the creepier things happen. We'll go up a ways. If there's a necessity, we'll head down onto the creek bed, but that seems very loud and does not seem like I will hear anything. Again, if you know this place, keep that to yourself. Trying to check out these tracks. I cannot tell exactly, but it's a lighter, smaller animal. And these look like some people tracks that were down here. Okay. So we got quite a few animals walking around down here along the riverbed. Someone asked me before if on this old bridge that if it concerned me with the weight of the snow on it. My answer is a little, but I'm not going to worry about it really. Oh, this is creepy. And the snow is pretty heavy, deep to get through. It is a beautiful night, though, all things considering. Okay, so I'm trying to look up with the thermal on this area. I can see where there's a few warm spots, but I don't think that's... I think that's where some water is draining down, and not anything else. I try to save my battery. I have it hooked to the spare, but it's still, this thing just eats power like it's going out of style. Okay, definitely see some tracks of animals heading down there. That's definitely a rat right here, the way that is hopping. Definitely got some ice underneath me. So I do have a couple couple of glow sticks with me. If you'll bear with me a bit here where I can dig those out. Because evidently it's not going to just cooperate with me, unfortunately. There we go, we got the sound of our train. And we got the smell of natural gas down here big time. Okay, so I had a couple of glow sticks with me. Evidently, they fell off and they're probably in the car. So, either that or it's just, again, it's just too hard with the gear on to dig for them. Now, it reeks of natural gas down here. This cliff is an area of concern. So we're going to try and get a good scan. Now, I want to tell you how sound travels through this valley. The trains are to the north of me, but they sound like they're behind me, which is to the south. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff going on over here. A little scuffle, looked like, but I don't see any blood. But this looks like we had something rolling around in here. Those are deer tracks right there, for sure. But what did this? I'm not sure. See, you hear that? That train sounds like it's to the south of me, and that's impossible. It just echoes down this valley for miles. Okay. Again, those are deer track too. I don't like taking my eyes off of this cliff, but we gotta try to investigate. Let's light this cliff up here. So, we are Northeast Ohio, Ashtabula County, where I'm at, is pretty much the heart of the snow belt, Lake Erie snow belt. I was looking at doing this, the winds and the temperature looked like it was going to be good for it, and then Lake Erie said, hold on a second, we want our input to this hike. And this is lake effect snow coming down. Unfortunately. Okay, we got tracks all over here. Yeah, it's weird. That train sounds like it's behind me. And that is impossible. I'm trying to see if I can tell what this is. Turn this back down a little bit. Because it's eating my battery. I have the Power Tech as a backup, but I want to try to hold off and have this is way brighter when I need it. I should mention, because I forgot to when I said our objectives, Also in with the signs of the wildlife. We're looking for the Ohio grassman, Bigfoot, Yeti, whatever you feel like calling them. The rock thrower. Ooh, I heard something down that way. You can see wildlife in abundance down here. I hear another aircraft coming over top of me. This is not exactly easy footing. I hear a jet, and I'm hearing a propeller plane. Sorry, something that cold air plus activity is going to equal pretty much what most people already knows. And I'm no exception to that. You can see these game trails. Definitely deer cutting through here. I want to show you, if you see a light there, that is to a house that is down the valley. Okay, that's not any eye shine or really anything to be concerned about. Yeah, and apologize guys, I don't know if the snow is detracting to you. It definitely makes my visibility a little less, but it's kind of neat, I guess you could say. Now all you people in the south who unexpectedly got a bunch of this stuff that we get on a regular basis, you're welcome. We shipped it down to you. Don't worry, no need to ship it back. We got plenty of our own, as you can see. And I just heard like a stick break there. I think I'm hearing some Canadian geese in the distance. A lot of these are deer, some of them are rabbits, some of them are, I can't tell, some other type of... We definitely had, I think, some sort of canine tracks, which I think were probably, them wandering off in the woods were probably coyote. Which... So we're definitely finding the signs of all the wildlife. If I've seen a flicker of light on the other side of this woods. It's pretty far. Still on the other side of this woods, there is a house back there. It's pretty far, but you can still see the light. It's amazing you can see through pretty far through the woods right now. Unfortunately, my thermal is not getting much in the way of hits, and everything is pretty much within a less than 10 degree variant, so it just looks mostly gray. Now, the Weather Channel, which, what the heck do they know, said less than an inch of snow. If I can spit that out. But what do they know? They pretty much get the weather wrong all the time. Now here's kind of a little bit of my humor. So, Weather Channel especially, but a lot of the weathermen. Their field is kind of similar to baseball. In baseball, you got a batting average of 300. So that would be, you get a hit 30% of the time, you fail 70% of the time, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. Okay. I think our weathermen go with the batting average philosophy. If they get it right 30% of the time, they're considered one of the best meteorologists ever. And I'd say the Weather Channel doesn't. They bat maybe about 240. And they should be waived. But unfortunately, it's one of the most used weather apps. Oh, look at all of the activity here. What? Like, it looks like deer are scuffing out some areas to get food. Look at this. Something is digging all up over here. And here's one of the game trails going in. So, did get some range time with my new 10mm, and I gotta tell you, I'm a pretty darn good shot with it. Not bragging. And one of the things I do, remember I tell you, I'm big on that self-defense. My wife has to come with me, and now I didn't bring every kind of gun I had to go shoot this time, but I brought 5 of them. She has to learn how to shoot all of them. I make her learn how to use all of them and use them proficiently. And that was some of the stuff I had to do early in my career in the Air Force. I had to learn how to go through range instructor schooling, learn how to teach other people to shoot. Never forgot that. That's always stuck with me. I see lots of the tracks heading into the woods there. Boy, they're crisscrossing this road. These are all the deer. Unfortunately, do not have. Let me look at my. Okay, so the light is reading up there in the 90s, keeping that hand nice and warm, and I got to switch them out because the right hand, even though I got gloves on, because I'm gripping the camera stick, about to go numb here. I just heard a coyote. Just heard a howl. How they've dug up over here. Those deer are hungry. There's a lot of oak trees out here. A lot of acorns drop on the ground, and those deer go to dig them up to get something to eat too. Well, look at that. A lot of these areas here, they're. What was that? I'm hearing something. Okay, now I hear Canadians, but I swear I was hearing some coyote shipping. I do hear some Canadian geese. Coyotes may be going after them. Another airplane going over. I don't know what the deal is with that. Got to get the flight tracker out. Those are Canadians. And and they're having a fit. Probably because something is chasing them. Now, if you thought that Canadian geese fly south for the winter, a lot of them used to. However, ooh, I had something over here. Okay, there's our Canadians. The river is just in that way. The Canadians were going extinct, so they bred them in captivity. Okay. And then when they released them, there was nobody to teach them to fly south. So they stayed here all winter long. Okay? Which goes to show you that, at least with Canadian geese, that I was always taught in school, they flew south off of instinct. That is false. It's a learned behavior that is passed down generation through generation. And when the geese were bred in captivity and didn't fly south, that was their learned behavior. And the ones then they released them, they did not fly south. And we've had generations and generations after, because their generations are shorter than ours, of these Canadian geese, with the parents not knowing to teach the kids to fly south. But thus kind of proving something wrong that I was taught in science. Science, yeah. What the heck do the freaking scientists know, huh? I gotta tell you this, if I lived my life off of what the so-called scientists say they know and what is true, I'd be living a very misguided life and ignorant. Up here, we're going to check over the cliff. There's a lot of trees, but maybe we can see the Canadians and what's going after them. This big tree. Now this literally like goes straight down to the river. Would be a long fall. The thermal camera can pick up the river real clear. Oh, I see our Canadians in the water there. Let's see if I can zoom in on them. I don't know if you can make them out. I can see them with my eyes. They're all floating in the water. There's just scores of them going back this way, all down here. A big group of them just floating down the river. Okay, let me zoom this camera back. I gotta put the glove back on. Oh. Tone it down a little. You see where some hunters have their pin marks for their hunting. Some hunting is done back here. I know this property owner. And he hunts it, and I think there's a select few that he lets come back here. Get up here just a little bit further, and then we're going to U-turn and head back. It's definitely a lot of tree damage from some of the very big storms we've had this winter. Those Canadians are chatterboxes. I think we'll head up by like this big tree. You always wonder whether you hit this at the right time, whether I should have gone later in the night, earlier in the evening. You never know. So, timing and location. Here. You can see where the end of where the road becomes abandoned is. I can hear the interstate traffic much louder here. Again, pretty light winds. I see something stuck in that tree, but I can't tell what that is. Oh, I think that's, okay, it's a broken tree branch. That's the end of it. It just looked odd. It's not. Now again, as I showed you, I'll show you here. I do have my ears covered, otherwise they will freeze off. That does muffle my hearing, as well as my crunching of the snow and ice and my footsteps here. So when I checked and planned this hike yesterday, when I was talking and complaining about the weatherman said yesterday there was going to be, said 14% chance of snow. Lake Erie. Lake Erie said otherwise. And of course, when you go to look at the weather today, and as I'm getting ready to leave, oh, by the way, they updated their forecast. And then they say they got it right. All week long, Thursday, was, they were saying no snow. So I pegged this night as the night I was going to be able to go out. And so you have to tell me what you guys think of the snowy adventure. Canadian geese, that's actually a sign of the wildlife and a prey animal. And again, we've obviously had lots of deer through here, rabbit, and some other smaller critters. So we do have lots of wildlife. I had a couple faint, and we're going to have to listen. Coyote, what I thought were coyote howls, and possibly an owl. But we're going to have to try to listen for it. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I have my ears covered. Now, something very interesting and hopefully helpful that I have on order that should be here tomorrow, which is when this video should release. Should have this released. This is Thursday, okay, and the video is going to be out tomorrow, on Friday. It's going to, and a lot of my hikes don't go that way, but this one does. Now this is something too that I have not gotten in good at is trying to catch up in these trees. And I do believe our Bigfoot / grassmen, I do believe they use these trees a lot more than at least I thought. There's no experts. Anyone who says there's an expert's a liar. Okay. There may be people who know more than me about them, but there ain't nobody who's an expert because there's nobody who's done an autopsy on them that we know of. I mean, I think our government knows about it, but they won't tell us. So, I do believe they use the trees a lot more, especially the young ones. Now, something else of note is that this is mating season for coyotes, which makes them, especially the males, much more aggressive at this time. I said mating season goes, like, I think it's December through March. Winter months. So, but then coyote, when they have their young, are also more aggressive, so let's just consider them aggressive all year long. Canadians are some big chatterboxes. So Hattie, if you're watching this, Hattie is my friend now in Oklahoma, formerly of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Okay, you're gonna have to explain to me why you Canadians are such chatterboxes. That's a joke. I'm about 4.5 to 5 miles south of the train tracks, and I still pick up their noise. Oh my gosh, those Canadians are going off. I did say there was a chance of a few gusts, but the winds were supposed to be light. Because in this cold, it's the wind that really starts to bite you. Because the one uncovered area is my face, and that's the part that's about to freeze off. Now I am currently heading south. That train sounds like it is south of me, and that is a physical impossibility. It's so strange how this valley just redirects the sound. What I was going to say is over here on this land that is marked private property there, in 2006 there was a murder. One man shot another man in the face with a shotgun, with a slug, which, as you know, shotgun slugs are incredibly powerful. That will literally make your head a canoe. The man who did that was 2006. The man is currently still in prison for that murder. He did not get the death sentence, however, he got pretty much the rest of his life. I think he has like a possibility of parole after like 25 or 30 years, something like that. Dude's in prison for a long time. The snow does seem to be picking up. And unfortunately, the snowfall is definitely giving the thermal fits for trying to pick up things. But I just also think I got nothing close to me, too. So if you see, I've been keeping a pretty decent eye. Now, not all the time. Sometimes I try to look over the cameras. I'm trying to keep a pretty decent eye on the thermal camera. And so I'm not 100% on it, but for the most part I'd say there's not been anything near me. If you see on the main camera video, you're thinking you see something. Man, I don't know. I gotta say, maybe, but I'm not catching. Again, the snowfall may be masking some of the thermal signatures. Again, I do these hikes all year round, every season. Northeast Ohio is snowy and rainy, so we do them in all types of weather. We do them in hot, we do them in cold. The big thing that I do try to avoid, I try to avoid wind, okay, which here closer to the lake shore is a little bit harder to do. But I am currently in my position, I'm not going to say exactly where I'm at, but I'm I said 4.5, I probably was off, 5 to 6 miles south of the railroad tracks, which is another 2 miles to the lake shore, so I'm probably close to 7 miles. 7 miles from the lake. Unfortunately, well within its drop zone for lake effect. Ooh, I heard a knock. Light 'em up. Oh, and another knock. What do we have here? Please drop in the comments if you heard the knocks. Always, hey, another thing, see or hear something, timestamp please. Timestamp so I can validate it and give you the credit for it. That's another aircraft landing. Busy night. Again, I gotta check the flight app. Last time I was down here, I had quite a few come over me. I checked the flight app, and every single one of them was cargo planes. UPS, FedEx. None of them were passenger planes. And there was a couple at the company that I didn't recognize, I didn't know, that were flying over. But they were, I think they were cargo planes. I'm going to tell you, the tree knocks, again, what it seemed to me like is those are signals. They're signaling to something else, probably on the opposite side, saying here comes trouble. I just heard another knock that way. Drop in the comments if you heard that. It's faint. You can hear the sound of the river going. You know. I'm picking up what I think is water flow on my thermal. I do have a heat signature, but it's fairly close to me, and it looks like there's a drainage area. That's another aircraft going over top of me. And I do believe I said that before. It's not normal, but I don't know. I will run my flight tracker. I can roll it back and check out and see what came over top of me. It's like we had two aircraft crisscrossing at the same time there. Those are both jets. The only thing that's like a real good sign of is that means the wind is not muffling the sound here. You see quite a few animal tracks down there. Looks like we have some deer, we have some game trails. There's a message I want to say, but I'm going to wait towards the end to add that in here, so stick towards the end. There's a little bit of a message I got to say. I do gotta say, if something threw a rock at landing in the snow, it would be harder to hear. It would definitely be harder to hear unless it hits those trees. The sound of that water, unfortunately, and it's muffling some of the sound. That's me going through ice. Man, it is deep on this bridge. I get to the center of this and try and scan the sides. Yep. Part of it's frozen up. Part of the river's frozen up, but we've got a big channel open that is running heavy. Snow's coming down heavy, which unfortunately is really starting to block the view. Sorry guys. The place definitely needs more investigation and trying to hit it on a better day when there's better weather. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to have a lower level of water until spring, or not even spring, till midsummer. We get a lot of precipitation here. It is actually classed as rainforest. It's just that large amount of that precipitation is snow. I almost think I'm going to turn my light down. I don't want to turn it off. Oops. I'm going to say, almost having that light on high it's like reflecting off the snow coming down and blinding me almost. You know, you see like the snow is starting to accumulate on me here. Look. So, definitely a frosty, snowy night. I was hoping that we just had some epic cold, below zero temperatures and everything. I was hoping that water was going to freeze up, but it didn't. Well, it's not Christmas time, but I'm walking in a winter wonderland. A creepy winter wonderland at that. One of the creepiest places I know. I'm going to tell you, watch by the time I get home, the snow's going to stop. You know, those trees are all like a little teepee. It's hard to see because of the snow. This uphill part, and this gets rough going up this hill. My visibility is very low. The thermal is definitely having trouble seeing further back because of the snow. So there definitely could be things that are near me. That thermal is probably only good because of the snow. Thermal is probably only good for about 15 yards, whereas when it's normal, it will see 150 yards back into, if all the vegetation down right now, this thermal will go back 150 yards, but snowfall is definitely limiting its ability. And I kind of push things, I test things, they kind of get pushed to their operational limits. I'm faintly hearing, sounded like a howl of a coyote, faintly. May have not picked up. It's definitely in the distance. switch hands. Left hand is getting cold now. This is a steep climb, I'm going to tell you. As cold as it is, it's starting to make me sweat. Which unfortunately is making my glasses fog up. It's like you're going down and up, huh? Glasses are fogging. We don't have anywhere to put them, but they're just gonna. I have them like covered in snow. But I'm going to try and clip them on me because they're just again, so I can't see it all. A little bit better with those glasses off. Getting snow on. Sorry about that. The snow was starting to pile on top of the camera. My wireless hole puncher is covered in snow. Both of them. The snow is deep. This is definitely a rugged climb. did not anticipate hearing so many trains, especially this far away from the train tracks. But I'm not going to do about that either. So, a couple of things that I want to cover before we end this, especially all you guys that hung in to the end. Okay, I got some very good hikes coming up, especially with cameraman, and I got some other spots that I'm going to be checking out here in the near future. But again, I have to now I have to kind of hide locations, which is irritating. This is having to change how I do my hikes, because again, what some of my other friends who've got some successful YouTube channels, more successful than me, have said, that's one of the signs that you're starting to do a good job, and you're starting to get successful, is you're going to get things like this. A lot of haters, stalkers, copycats, and that's what I'm getting. So, in a sense, I must be doing the right thing. It's just a bummer that I have to change things. I do not go out into the woods to get into a fight. And I enjoy being able to do some of them solo. I will try to be having somebody with me when I can. Okay, but I have a couple of good new areas that I'm going to be checking out here. So far, the Weather Channel, who did a bang up job of getting the weather right for this week, is saying February is going to be above average temperatures, slightly above average. So still cold, but slightly above average, which could be good for hiking. Really good spots that I'm going to be checking out. That some viewers sent to me. Some of those areas are in Pennsylvania. Some of them are down the road a little bit, Geauga County and Lake County. And we're going to see how that goes. Maybe there'll be good spots, maybe there won't. I definitely, looking at them on Google Earth, they definitely got potential. But what I got to say here is, guys, my car is covered up with snow. What? No. Okay. I no longer can show my car either. So, guys, drop in the comments what you thought of the frozen tundra of northeast Ohio here. We did catch, we had lots of tracks. Lots of tracks. Canadian geese, obviously, but we caught a few. I caught a few. Sounded like faint coyote calls, and we definitely caught some of those tracks. Looked to be coyotes, and a couple of tree knocks. So, all in all, I do believe I met the criteria of my objectives. However, sometimes it's better than others. I'd like to be able to catch more. Always like to be able to catch more. So, with that said, I'm going to get the heck out of here, get warmed up, dried off, get my equipment recharged, get this video uploaded so you guys can watch this and hopefully enjoy. Okay, so I got to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys all. Watch out for me, guys. Watch for in the comments. Watch for our negatives, our negative comments, and those that may potentially be stalkers. Okay. Greatly appreciate you guys. Alright, this is T-Mac Experience on a snowy northeastern Ohio night. Saying God bless you.